I would never hurt him, Mrs. Ashford. Liam is like my own son. Please, you have to believe me.
Get lost! You will rot in jail!
Billionaire's wife accused the maid of hurting their child, but his son exposed the shocking truth. I would never hurt him, Mrs. Ashford. Liam is like my own son. Please, you have to believe me. That single plea shattered the elegant afternoon at the Ashford estate. Moments later, Sofia Martinez was led away in handcuffs, accused of hurting the 7-year-old boy she'd raised for 4 years. But the truth was far more dangerous than anyone imagined. Behind those pristine walls hid addiction, rage, and a crime that would destroy a family's perfect image. What was Victoria really hiding? Watch till the end. The final reveal will leave you breathless. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We want to see how far this story travels. The Ashford estate towered above Beverly Hills like a monument to power. Marble floors gleamed like ice under crystal chandeliers that cast rainbow shadows across walls thick enough to muffle screams. That afternoon, a charity luncheon filled the grand ballroom with champagne laughter and designer gowns. But beneath the luxury, tension waited, silent, patient, deadly. Upstairs, in a bedroom decorated with Spider-Man posters and toy race cars, Sofia Martinez, 32, carefully changed bed sheets with the practiced precision of someone who knew perfection wasn't optional. It was survival. She'd worked for the Ashfords for 4 years, long enough to understand that in houses like these, the help was meant to be invisible. But to one small boy, she was everything. "Miss Sophia," a quiet voice called from the doorway. She turned. Liam, 7 years old, stood clutching his favorite stuffed elephant, his blue eyes carrying a sadness no child should know. His small shoulders were hunched, like he was trying to make himself disappear. "Can I stay up here with you? I don't like the people downstairs." Sophia's heart squeezed. She knelt to his level, smoothing his brown hair gently. "You know I have to work, sweetheart, but I'll be right nearby. Okay? Always nearby." He nodded slowly. "Promise you won't leave me?" "Like forever." Her throat tightened. He still remembered last month, when Victoria had sent her home early during Liam's birthday party, claiming she had overstepped boundaries. Sofia had found him crying in his room the next day, convinced she'd abandoned him. "I promise," she whispered, holding his small hand. "You're stuck with me." "Liam." Victoria's voice cut through the warmth like a blade of ice. She appeared in the doorway, statuesque in a crimson dress that matched her perfect lipstick. Her makeup was flawless, her smile practiced and cold. But Sofia noticed what others didn't: the slight tremor in her hands, the dilated pupils that didn't match the bright afternoon light. "Darling, don't bother Sofia. She has work to do." "It's no trouble at all, Mrs. Ashford," Sofia said quickly, standing. Victoria tilted her head, eyes glacial behind the smile. "You're too kind, but there's a line, isn't there? Liam needs to socialize with appropriate people, not staff." Liam looked down at his feet. Sofia felt the familiar sting, but buried it under years of restraint. "Yes, ma'am." "Good," Victoria said, turning on her designer heels. "And Sofia, make sure those sheets are hospital corner perfect. Marcus's business partners are touring the house later. Presentation matters." As Victoria's footsteps clicked down the marble hallway, Liam whispered, "She doesn't mean it. You're not just staff. You're my best friend." Sofia blinked back tears. "In your mind, little man." An hour later, the charity luncheon was in full swing. Los Angeles elite mingled in the sunlit ballroom. Tech moguls, plastic surgeons, old money and new, all performing the same choreographed dance of wealth. Sofia moved among them like a ghost, refilling champagne flutes, clearing plates, perfecting the art of being seen but never acknowledged. Across the room, Marcus Ashford stood with a group of investors, his tailored navy suit impeccable, his smile confident. But Sofia noticed the tension in his jaw, the way he checked his phone obsessively. He was a man drowning in expectations, too distracted to see his own family sinking. Then there was Jonathan Sterling, the family attorney, distinguished with silver hair and an easy charm. He kissed Victoria's hand just a fraction too long, whispered something that made her laugh. Light and musical, but somehow wrong. Sofia caught the exchange and looked away quickly. It wasn't her place to notice. But something about Victoria's behavior today felt off. The woman moved through the party with manic energy, her laughter too loud, her gestures too sharp. Sofia counted 3 trips to the powder room in an hour. 3 empty wine glasses. 2 pills popped discreetly behind a pillar. Miss Sofia? Liam appeared at her side again, tugging her apron. Can we go upstairs now? Please. In a little bit, she whispered, balancing a tray. Just stay where I can see you, okay? But Victoria materialized again, smile razor sharp. Going somewhere, you two? The boy just needs a quiet moment, Sofia said gently. The crowd is overwhelming him. Victoria's tone dropped several degrees. The guest will think he's rude if he hides. This is his home. He needs to learn to own it. She turned to Sofia with cold precision. And there are empty glasses on the main table. Attend to them. Yes, ma'am. As Sofia moved toward the table, she felt Victoria's eyes burning into her back. Watching, calculating, waiting. 20 minutes later, everything changed. A scream pierced the afternoon air. High, childlike, full of terror. Sofia dropped her tray. Glass shattered against marble as she ran toward the sound, her heart in her throat. Other guests froze, conversations dying mid-sentence. At the bottom of the grand staircase lay Liam, his small body crumpled like a broken doll, his left arm bent at an unnatural angle. His face was pale, eyes wide with shock. Liam. Sofia reached him first, falling to her knees. Oh God, baby, don't move. No, get away from him. Victoria appeared at the top of the stairs, her face a perfect mask of horror, tears already streaming. She descended like an avenging angel, her voice breaking with practiced precision. What did you do to him? What did you do to my son? Sofia's blood ran cold. I heard him scream. I saw you. Victoria's voice rose to a wail as guests gathered. I heard them arguing, and when I came out, she was standing over him. She pushed him. That's not true. Sofia's voice cracked. Mrs. Ashford, please. Marcus came running, his face drained of color. What happened? Liam. Paramedics were called. Within minutes, the mansion swarmed with first responders. Liam was conscious but silent, eyes glassy with shock and pain. When Sofia tried to approach him, Victoria blocked her path. Don't you dare touch him again. 2 police officers arrived with the ambulance. Victoria met them at the door, her performance Oscar-worthy, trembling hands, broken voice, tears that fell on cue. Officer, I need to report an assault. Our maid attacked my son. The taller officer turned to Sofia. Ma'am, I need you to stay right there. I didn't touch him. Sofia's voice rose in panic. Mr. Ashford, please, you know me. I would never. But Marcus stood frozen, torn between his wife's tears and his maid's pleas. Doubt clouded his eyes. Sofia, just cooperate. Let them sort this out. Cooperate. Her voice broke. I've worked for you for 4 years. I love that boy like, ma'am, I need you to turn around and place your hands behind your back, the officer said firmly. The handcuffs clicked shut, cold and final. As they led her toward the door, Sofia looked back one last time. Liam was being loaded into an ambulance, his small face streaked with silent tears. Their eyes met for a fraction of a second. Sofia, he screamed suddenly, struggling against the paramedic. Dad, don't let them take her. She didn't do anything. Victoria held him back. Sweetheart, I know you care about her, but sometimes people aren't who we think they are. She's lying. Liam's voice was raw. Mom's lying. But no one listened to the 7-year-old boy. Sofia's last image before the door closed was Liam reaching toward her, his unbroken hand stretching through the air as if trying to hold onto her across an impossible distance. Then darkness, the champagne, the chandeliers, the glittering facade, all gone. Sofia sat on the edge of her narrow bed in her cramped studio apartment, the hum of traffic barely reaching through the thin walls. The luxury she used to clean now felt like a dream from another life, or a nightmare she couldn't wake from. Her hands still trembled from the weight of those handcuffs, The disbelief in Marcus's eyes, the way Victoria's perfectly timed tears had sealed her fate. On the nightstand sat a framed photo, a little girl with bright eyes and missing front teeth, arms wrapped around Sofia's neck. Isabella, age 9. Her daughter, back in Mexico with Sofia's mother, waiting for her mama to send money, to come home, to keep the promises she'd made. Sofia traced the glass with her thumb, throat tight. "I'm sorry, Mija," she whispered to the empty room. "Mama messed up again." Her phone buzzed. The screen lit up. Mama calling. She almost didn't answer, but she always did. "Hola, Sofia," came her mother's weak voice, worn thin by years and illness. "How are you, Hija? You sound tired." "I'm fine, Mama. Just long day at work." "Did you save enough for my medicine this month?" "The doctor says I need the new prescription." Sofia stared at the ceiling, calculating numbers that didn't add up. The savings she'd set aside for her mother's treatment would now vanish into bail, into rent, into survival. "Yes, Mama," she lied softly. "I'll send it next week." "Gracias, Mija. God bless you." A pause. "How was the little boy you take care of?" "Liam, right?" Sofia's throat closed. He's okay." Growing fast. When the call ended, silence pressed in from all sides. She wanted to cry, but even tears felt like a luxury she couldn't afford. Tomorrow she'd meet with a public defender. Tomorrow she'd face charges that could destroy what was left of her life. Tomorrow the world would see her as a monster. But tonight, alone in the dark, Sofia made herself a promise. If they wanted to destroy her, they'd have to face the truth first. And the truth was coming, whether Victoria Ashford was ready or not. 3 days earlier, the argument started over toast. Victoria stood in the kitchen doorway at 7:42 a.m., still in her silk robe, watching Sofia butter bread for Liam's breakfast. The boy sat at the counter in his Spider-Man pajamas, swinging his legs, telling Sofia about a dream he'd had about flying. "You were there too, Miss Sofia," he said, grinning. "You had cape and everything." Sofia laughed, sliding the plate toward him. "Well, someone has to keep you out of trouble, even in dreams." "That's enough." Victoria's voice cut through the warmth like frost. "Liam, go get dressed. You'll be late for school." "But Mom, I'm eating." "Now, Liam." The boy looked at Sofia, who nodded gently. "Go ahead, sweetheart. I'll pack your lunch." When Liam disappeared upstairs, Victoria stepped closer, her eyes glittering with something dangerous. "You're overstepping again." "I'm sorry. Don't play innocent. You coddle him. You make him soft." Victoria poured coffee with trembling hands. "He needs discipline, not fairy tales." Sofia kept her voice calm, professional. "He's 7, Mrs. Ashford. He needs." "Don't tell me what my son needs." Victoria's laugh was sharp, bitter. "You think because you tuck him in at night, you're his mother? You're the help, Sofia. Remember that." Sofia bit back the words burning in her throat. "Yes, ma'am." But over the next 3 days, the tension only escalated. Victoria's mood swings grew more volatile, sweet one moment, venomous the next. Sofia noticed the pill bottles multiplying on Victoria's bathroom counter, the wine consumption starting earlier each afternoon, the way her pupils dilated even in bright light. And then came the charity luncheon. The day everything shattered. The incident happened in the upstairs hallway at exactly 2:17 p.m., though Sofia wouldn't know the exact time until she saw the nanny cam footage weeks later. She was in the kitchen, arranging canapes on silver trays, when she heard voices rising upstairs. Male staff weren't allowed in the family wing during events, so she moved toward the service stairs, concerned. "I don't want to." Liam's voice, unusually loud. "I don't want to stay down there. You're being ridiculous." Victoria's tone was sharp, impatient. "These are important people, Liam. You represent this family. They're boring. And you're mean to Sofia in front of them." Sofia froze on the stairs, heart pounding. "What did you just say?" Victoria's voice dropped to something dangerous. "You heard me." The boy's voice cracked with emotion. "You're always mean to her. She's nicer to me than you are. She actually cares about me. How dare you?" "It's true. Sofia takes better care of me than you do." The sound that followed made Sofia's blood run cold. Not quite a slap, but something worse, a scuffle, a cry of pain, furniture scraping. "You ungrateful little." Victoria's voice was unrecognizable, raw with rage. "Mom, stop. You're hurting." Then came the scream. Sofia dropped the tray and ran, taking stairs 2 at a time. The crash seemed to echo forever, a terrible, sickening tumble of small body against marble steps. When she reached the top of the grand staircase, her heart stopped. Liam lay crumpled at the bottom, impossibly small, his left arm bent at an angle that made her stomach lurch. His eyes were wide with shock, face drained of color. "Liam!" Sofia flew down the stairs, her knees hitting marble as she reached him. "Oh God, baby, don't move, stay still." His lips moved soundlessly. Blood trickled from a cut above his eyebrow. "I've got you," Sofia whispered, her hands hovering over him, terrified to touch him, terrified not to. "You're okay. You're going to be okay." "No, get away from him." Sofia's head snapped up. Victoria stood at the top of the stairs, perfectly positioned, her hand over her mouth in horror. But in that split second before their eyes met, Sofia saw something that chilled her to the bone. Victoria checking her reflection in the hallway mirror, smoothing her hair, arranging her face. Then the performance began. Victoria descended the stairs like a woman possessed, tears already streaming. "What did you do? Oh my God, what did you do to him?" I just found him," Sofia stammered. "You pushed him." Victoria's voice carried through the mansion, deliberately loud. "I saw you. You were arguing with him, and you pushed him." "That's not true." Sofia's voice cracked with disbelief. "Mrs. Ashford, please." But Victoria was already screaming for help, and guests were flooding into the foyer, their faces shocked, phones already recording. What followed happened so fast, Sofia could barely process it. Someone called 911. Within minutes, paramedics rushed through the front door with a stretcher and equipment. Victoria clung to the railing, her sobs perfectly timed, her words calculated for maximum impact. "I heard them arguing," she told the gathering crowd, her voice breaking. "I came out of my room and saw Sofia grab his arm and shove him. He tried to catch himself, but..." Her voice dissolved into convincing tears. "That's a lot." Sofia's voice rose in panic. "I was downstairs. I heard him scream." "Liar." Victoria whirled on her, eyes blazing behind her tears. "How dare you? After everything we've done for you." Marcus appeared from his study, his face drained of all color. "What the hell happened?" "Liam." He pushed through the crowd, dropping to his knees beside his son. The paramedics were already stabilizing Liam's arm, checking his vitals, asking questions the boy couldn't answer. He stared at the ceiling, eyes glassy with shock and pain, lips trembling. "Sir, we need to transport him now," the lead paramedic said. "Possible concussion, definite fracture." "I'm coming with him." Marcus stood, his movements mechanical. "I'm coming too." Sofia moved forward instinctively. Victoria blocked her path, her voice dropping to a vicious whisper meant only for Sofia's ears. "Don't you dare. You've done enough damage." Then louder for the crowd. "She's not going anywhere near my son." As they loaded Liam onto the stretcher, his eyes finally focused. They found Sofia across the foyer, and his mouth formed her name, but no sound came out. Then Victoria leaned close to him, her face hidden from the crowd, and whispered something that made his whole body go rigid with fear. Sofia saw his expression change, saw the terror that replaced the pain. "No," Liam whimpered, barely audible. "No, please." "Shoo, sweetheart," Victoria cooed, loud enough for others to hear. "Everything's going to be all right. We'll take care of everything." The ambulance doors closed. Marcus climbed into his car to follow, and Sofia stood alone in a circle of staring, judging faces. Then came the sirens. Different ones this time. Police. Officer Davis was young, professional, his hand resting on his belt as he approached. His partner, Officer Chun, followed with a notebook. "Ma'am, I need you to stay right where you are," Davis said to Sofia. Victoria rushed forward, playing her part beautifully. "Officer, thank God you're here. Our maid, she attacked my son." He's being rushed to the hospital right now with a broken arm and possible head trauma. That's not what happened. Sofia's voice shook. She's lying. I didn't touch him. Ma'am, please calm down. Officer Davis raised his hand. We need to hear both accounts. Victoria launched into her story with practiced precision. The timing, the positioning, the sound she'd heard. She described Sofia as increasingly unstable and inappropriately attached to Liam. She's been jealous of my relationship with my son, Victoria said, dabbing at her eyes. I think she snapped today. I should have seen the warning signs. That's insane. Sofia's voice cracked. Mr. Ashford, please. You know me. I would never hurt him. I love that boy like what? Victoria's voice turned cold. Like he's yours? That's the problem, isn't it? You've deluded yourself into thinking you're part of this family. Officer Chun turned to Sofia. Ma'am, where were you when the incident occurred? I was in the kitchen. I heard them arguing upstairs. Then I heard Liam scream and fall. When I got there, he was already at the bottom of the stairs. She's lying, Victoria insisted. I saw her standing over him. She pushed him. The guests murmured. Someone whispered, I always thought she was too familiar with that child. Officer Davis exchanged a glance with his partner. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to come down to the station for questioning. Questioning? Sofia's world tilted. You're arresting me? We're asking you to cooperate. I am cooperating. I'm telling you the truth. Sofia looked around desperately at the crowd. Someone must have seen something, heard something, but every face looked away. Every phone stayed pointed at her. Ma'am, turn around and place your hands behind your back. The handcuffs clicked shut, cold and final. Sofia's dignity crumbled like sand. Tears streamed down her face as they read her rights. Words that didn't make sense, couldn't be real. I didn't hurt him, she whispered. I didn't. As they led her toward the door, she looked back one last time at the mansion that had been her second home for 4 years. At the staircase where a little boy had fallen. At the spot where she'd held him, terrified and helpless. And there, partially hidden behind a lace handkerchief, was Victoria Ashford. Their eyes met for just a second, and Victoria smiled. The police station smelled like industrial cleaner and desperation. They took her purse, her phone, her jewelry, fingerprints, mugshot, front and side, holding a placard like a criminal. Detective Morris was a woman in her 50s with tired eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. She laid out the potential charges across the metal table. Child abuse, assault and battery, reckless endangerment. You're looking at 5 to 10 years if convicted, she said flatly. That's if the boy recovers fully. If there's lasting damage. She let the implication hang. I didn't do this, Sofia said for the 100th time, her voice hoarse. Please, check the security cameras. There must be footage. Mrs. Ashford says the hallway cameras weren't functioning today. Maintenance issue. How convenient, Sofia thought bitterly. You get one phone call. Sofia's hands shook as she dialed her sister's number. Rosa? I need help. Her voice broke. They're saying I hurt Liam. They arrested me. I need bail money. Oh, Sophie. Oh, no. Rosa's voice cracked across the line. How much? When they told her the amount, both sisters went silent. It was more than they'd see in a year. That night, Sofia sat in a cold holding cell that smelled of sweat and fear. A drunk woman snored in the corner. Somewhere down the hall, someone was crying. Sofia pulled her knees to her chest, her mind trapped in an endless loop. Liam falling, the sound of his arm breaking, his terrified face when Victoria whispered to him, the smile behind the handkerchief. She thought of Isabella, her daughter, waiting in Mexico. She thought of her mother's medicine, her rent, her reputation, everything she'd built, destroyed in an afternoon. But most of all, she thought of Liam in a hospital bed, alone and scared, unable to tell the truth. I'm sorry, she whispered into the darkness. I'm so sorry, baby. I won't let her get away with this. I promise. Even if she had no idea how to keep that promise. Liam in the hospital. The private room on the 4th floor of Cedar Sinai smelled like antiseptic and fear. Liam lay in the adjustable bed, his left arm encased in a bright blue cast from wrist to shoulder, his small body dwarfed by the white sheets. and 4 drip fed clear fluid into his other arm. Purple bruises bloomed across his temple where his head had struck the stairs. Marcus sat in the chair beside him, unshaven, his expensive suit rumpled from sleeping upright for 3 days. He hadn't left the hospital except to shower once at home. Every time he looked at his son's face, pale, withdrawn, utterly unlike the vibrant child who'd been laughing at breakfast 4 days ago, guilt carved deeper into his chest. "Liam, buddy," Marcus said softly, reaching for his son's good hand. "The doctor says you're healing well. They'll probably let you go home tomorrow." Liam's eyes stayed fixed on the ceiling, unblinking. "You want to watch something? Your iPad's right here." "Spider-Man? You love Spider-Man." "Nothing. Just that terrible hollow silence." The doctors called it shock. Post-traumatic stress from the fall. But Marcus knew his son, and this wasn't shock. This was something worse. This was a child who'd stopped trusting the world entirely. Victoria swept into the room, carrying fresh flowers and wearing a designer pantsuit, her makeup perfect despite the early hour. "Good morning, sweetheart." Her voice was bright, forced. "Look what Mommy brought you." Liam turned his face away. "He's still not eating," Marcus said quietly. "The nurses tried 3 times yesterday. He won't even drink water unless they make him." Victoria's smile tightened. "He's being dramatic. Liam, this behavior needs to stop. You're worrying everyone." The boy's lips moved silently. "I want Sofia." "What did he say?" Victoria's voice sharpened. "He said," Marcus hesitated, "he's asking for Sofia again." "Absolutely not." Victoria set down the flowers with a sharp clink. "That woman nearly killed him. She's not coming anywhere near." "I want Sofia." Liam's voice cracked, suddenly loud, desperate. His good hand clutched the sheets. "Please, Dad. Please." "Sweetheart, no." Victoria moved closer, her tone syrupy, but her eyes cold. "Sofia hurt you, remember? She pushed you down the stairs." Liam's whole body went rigid. His breathing quickened, small chest rising and falling too fast. "You're upsetting him," Marcus said, standing. "I'm protecting him from that woman's influence." A nurse appeared in the doorway, her expression concerned. "Is everything all right?" "We're fine," Victoria said quickly, smile snapping back into place. But they weren't fine. Over the next 2 days, Liam's condition worsened. He stopped making eye contact entirely. When nurses tried to feed him, he'd turn his head away, silent tears sliding down his cheeks. His vitals were stable, but his spirit was breaking. Dr. Patel, a child psychologist brought in for consultation, emerged from a session with Liam looking troubled. "I'm recommending immediate trauma therapy," she told Marcus and Victoria in the hallway. "Your son is exhibiting symptoms of severe psychological distress. Selective mutism, food refusal, emotional withdrawal. These are cries for help." "What's causing it?" Marcus asked. Dr. Patel chose her words carefully. "Children who've experienced violence, especially from a trusted adult, often shut down as a protective mechanism. But there's something else here. He keeps mentioning someone named Sofia." "The maid who attacked him," Victoria interrupted. "Of course he's traumatized." "Actually," Dr. Patel said slowly, "he seems to be asking for her, not afraid of her, which is unusual given the circumstances." Victoria's face darkened. "Are you questioning my account of what happened, doctor?" "I'm simply noting inconsistencies between the reported trauma and your son's behavioral responses." That night, after visiting hours ended and Marcus went to make calls, Victoria stayed behind. She locked the door and approached Liam's bed, her pills making her movements loose, unpredictable. "Listen to me very carefully," she hissed, gripping the bed rail. "This stops now. The crying, the silence, the asking for her. She's gone, Liam. Sofia's in jail, where she belongs." Liam's eyes filled with tears. "You think you can tell the truth?" Victoria's voice rose, cracking. "You think anyone will believe you? That woman poisoned you against me. She made you think she cares about you, but she's a liar, a manipulator. She never loved you. She was just doing her job." "That's not true," Liam whispered, his first full sentence in days. "Sofia loves me." "She hurt you," Victoria screamed, no longer caring who heard. "I'm your mother. Me, not some hired help who." The door opened. Marcus stood there, frozen, his face pale. Behind him, 2 nurses rushed in. "Mrs. Ashford, you need to leave," one of them said firmly. Victoria spun around, her mask cracking completely. Her eyes were wild, makeup smeared, hands shaking. For just a moment, Marcus saw his wife as she really was: desperate, volatile, unraveling. "Get out," he said quietly. "Now." Rosa posted bail at 6:47 a.m. on the 4th day. She'd sold her car, borrowed from 3 different cousins, and maxed out 2 credit cards to scrape together the money. Sofia walked out of the detention center into harsh Los Angeles sunlight, wearing the same clothes she'd been arrested in. The world looked different now, sharper, crueler, impossibly bright after days in fluorescent-lit cells. Rosa drove her to the cramped studio apartment in East LA they'd shared before Sofia got the Ashford job. It felt like returning to a coffin after tasting fresh air. "I'm sorry it's not much," Rosa said, unlocking the door. "But it's home." Sofia stepped inside. 1 room, a pull-out couch, a kitchenette with 2 burners. The window faced a brick wall. Her entire world had shrunk to 4 walls and $1,200 in legal fees she couldn't pay. The court-appointed attorney, Mr. Harrison, met her at a coffee shop 2 blocks away. He was overworked, underpaid, already apologetic. "I'll be honest with you, Ms. Martinez," he said, spreading files across the sticky table. "The prosecution has witness testimony from the mother, physical evidence of the injury, and your fingerprints at the scene. No security footage to contradict their narrative. You're looking at 5 to 10 years if this goes to trial and you lose." Sofia's hands trembled around her coffee cup. "I didn't do this. I believe you. But belief doesn't win cases. Evidence does. And right now, they have all of it." He paused. "My recommendation is to take a plea deal if they offer one. Maybe we can get it down to 2 years. "No." Sofia's voice was steel. "I won't plead guilty to something I didn't do." Harrison sighed. "Then we prepare for trial. But I have to warn you, cases like this, with wealthy plaintiffs and undocumented defendants. I'm documented. I have a work visa. For now. But a felony conviction will end that, and you'll be deported." The word hit her like a physical blow. Deported. Sent back to Mexico, barred from ever returning, separated from Liam forever, unable to clear her name. By the time she got back to the apartment, the media had found her story. "Trusted maid accused of abusing billionaire's son," screamed the headlines. Her mugshot was everywhere: websites, social media, local news. The comment sections overflowed with hatred. "Throw away the key. These people come here and think they own our children. I always said you can't trust the help around kids." Rosa tried to shield her from it, but Sofia needed to see, needed to understand how thoroughly Victoria had destroyed her. That evening, Sofia's phone rang. Isabella's face lit up the screen. Her baby girl, her reason for everything. Sofia almost didn't answer. How could she lie to her daughter again? But she did. She always did. "Mama." Isabella's voice was bright, innocent. "When are you coming home? You said next month. Is it still next month?" Sofia's throat closed. She stared at the cracked ceiling, forcing her voice to stay steady. "Soon, Mija. Very soon. You said that last time." "I know, baby. I'm sorry. Work is just busy right now." "Are you crying, Mama?" "No, sweetheart. Just tired. I miss you so much." "I miss you too. Abuela says you're working hard, so I could go to good school." "Is that true?" Sofia closed her eyes, tears streaming silently. "Yes, baby. That's true." When the call ended, Sofia sat alone in the dark, clutching her phone like a lifeline. Rosa found her an hour later on the bathroom floor, rosary beads wrapped around her fingers, whispering prayers in Spanish. "Dios mío, ayúdame. Por favor, ayúdame." "Sophie." Rosa knelt beside her, pulling her into an embrace. "We'll figure this out. I promise." But even Rosa's voice shook with uncertainty. Sofia looked up, her face streaked with tears but her eyes hardening with something new. Not despair. Determination. "I will not let them destroy me," she whispered. "Victoria Ashford thinks she's won. She thinks she can lie and the world will believe her because she's rich and I'm nothing." Her voice strengthened. But I am not nothing. I am Liam's protector, and I will find the truth. I will prove what she did. How? Rosa asked gently. Sofia didn't have an answer. Not yet. But somewhere in that broken woman was a fighter waking up. Marcus's investigation. Marcus couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Liam falling, heard the terrible crack of bone against marble, felt the weight of his son's silence. At 3 a.m. on the 5th night, he gave up trying. He left the guest room. He hadn't shared a bed with Victoria since the incident, and wandered the mansion's empty halls. His footsteps echoed in the darkness, past the grand staircase where everything had shattered. Something didn't add up. Victoria's story was too perfect, too precise. She'd known exactly where she was standing, exactly what she'd seen, exactly when to cry. And yet, Marcus paused outside the master bedroom. Through the door, he heard Victoria's breathing, deep, drugged sleep. She'd been taking pills constantly, washing them down with wine, her behavior growing more erratic by the day. He tried the door. Locked. Using his key, Marcus entered quietly. Victoria didn't stir. He moved to her bathroom, opening cabinets with careful silence. What he found made his blood run cold. Prescription bottles. Dozens of them. Xanax from Dr. Morrison. Ambien from Dr. Chun. Vicodin from Dr. Patel. Different doctors, overlapping dates, dosages that didn't make sense. He checked the dates. Some prescriptions filled 3 times in 1 month. His wife was an addict, and he'd been too blind, too busy, too absent to see it. Marcus gathered the bottles, photographing each label with his phone. Then he found something else, tucked behind the boxes of sleeping pills, a crumpled piece of paper. A receipt from a cash-only rehab consultation. 3 months ago, Victoria had known she had a problem, and she'd hidden it. The next morning, Marcus confronted her over coffee in the breakfast room. "What were you doing in my bathroom?" Victoria's voice was sharp, defensive. She was already dressed, makeup applied, but her hands shook slightly holding her cup. "I was trying to understand." Marcus slid the pill bottles across the table. "How long, Victoria?" Her face paled. "How dare you go through my private? How long have you been addicted?" "I'm not addicted." She stood abruptly, chair scraping. "I have prescriptions. Legitimate medical. From 6 different doctors. Some of these pills are controlled substances. You're taking enough to knock out a horse. I need those because of the stress you cause me." Victoria's voice rose to a shriek. "Working myself to death for this family while you hide in your office. Raising your son alone because you're too busy making money to actually parent. Our son. He's our son. And he's terrified, Victoria. He won't eat, won't speak, won't. Because of Sofia, she manipulated him, turned him against me. He's asking for her." Marcus shouted, not afraid of her. "Asking for her. Doesn't that strike you as strange?" Victoria's eyes flickered with something dangerous. She brainwashed him. "Or you're lying." The words hung in the air like a grenade. Victoria's face transformed, shock, then rage, then something calculating. "Be very careful what you're accusing me of." "I'm not accusing. I'm questioning. There's a difference." That night, Marcus sat in Liam's hospital room after Victoria had left in a fury. His son lay in the dim light, awake but silent, staring at nothing. "Liam," Marcus said softly, pulling his chair close. "Son, I need you to tell me the truth. What really happened that day?" Liam's eyes filled with tears. "I promise. I swear on everything. No one will hurt you. Not Mom, not anyone. You're safe with me. But I need to know what happened on those stairs." The boy's lips trembled. A single tear slid down his cheek. "Please, buddy. Please tell me." For a long moment, silence. Then, barely a whisper, "Mom was angry." Marcus leaned closer, heart pounding. "Angry about what?" "I told her." Liam's voice cracked. "I told her Sofia takes better care of me than she does." The truth hit Marcus like a freight train. And then what happened? But Liam's eyes went wide with fear, darting to the door as if Victoria might appear. He shook his head violently, retreating back into silence. Marcus's hands clenched into fists. He pulled his son gently into his arms, careful of the cast. "It's okay," he whispered. "I understand, and I'm going to fix this. I promise you, Liam. I'm going to fix everything. even if he had to tear his whole life apart to do it. Liam's confession. The study felt impossibly large and impossibly small at the same time. Marcus had closed the heavy oak doors, drawn the curtains against the afternoon light, and now sat across from his son in the leather chair he usually reserved for business calls. But this wasn't business. This was everything. Liam perched on the edge of the couch, feet dangling above the Persian rug, his cast resting heavily in his lap. His eyes were red-rimmed from days of crying, his face pale and drawn. He looked younger than 7, fragile, breakable, already broken. "Liam," Marcus said softly, kneeling so they were eye to eye, "I need you to tell me what really happened on those stairs. Not what Mom said, not what you think I want to hear. The truth, just the truth." The boy's chin trembled. He opened his mouth, closed it, then whispered, "You'll be mad at me." "Never." Marcus took his son's good hand gently. "I promise you, buddy, nothing you say will make me mad at you. You're the victim here. Do you understand that?" For a long moment, silence hung between them. Then, like a dam breaking, the words spilled out in broken sobs. "I told Mom that Sofia takes better care of me than she does." Liam's voice cracked. "We were upstairs. I was going to my room, and she stopped me. She said I was being ungrateful and spoiled, and that Sofia was turning me against her." Marcus's jaw clenched, but he stayed quiet, letting his son continue. "I said it wasn't true, but then Liam hiccuped. I said Sofia loves me more than she does. That's when Mom got really angry. Her face got all red, and she grabbed my arm. This one," he gestured to the cast. "She was squeezing it so hard, Dad. It hurts so much." "What happened next?" Liam's tears fell faster now. "She started yelling that I was an ungrateful brat, that she gave up everything for me, that I didn't deserve her. And then she pushed me. Hard. I tried to grab the railing, but I couldn't. I just fell." The words hit Marcus like physical blows. His vision blurred with rage and grief. "When I woke up at the bottom, everything hurt. My arm was wrong. Mom was standing at the top of the stairs looking at me, and I thought she was going to help me. But she didn't move for a long time. Then she checked her hair in the mirror and came down and started crying. But it wasn't real crying, Dad. It was fake." "Did she say anything to you?" Marcus asked, his voice barely controlled. Liam nodded miserably. "When people came, before the ambulance, she leaned close and whispered that no one would believe a scared little boy over his own mother. She said if I told anyone the truth, Sofia would go to jail forever and it would be all my fault." Marcus pulled his son into his arms, careful of the broken limb, and held him while the boy sobbed against his shoulder. His own fury was a living thing in his chest, white-hot and terrible. He'd failed to protect his child from the person who should have loved him most. "I'm so sorry," Marcus whispered. "I'm so sorry I didn't see it. But I see it now, and I'm going to make this right. Sofia is innocent, and everyone is going to know the truth." Liam pulled back, hope flickering in his tear-streaked face. Really? Marcus stood, reaching for his phone with shaking hands. "We're calling my lawyer right now. This ends today." He dialed Jonathan Sterling's private number. It rang twice before the attorney picked up. "Jonathan, it's Marcus. I need you at the house immediately. Bring Detective Morris with you, if you can. Everything has changed. Victoria lied. About everything." An hour later, Marcus's study had transformed into an impromptu war room. Jonathan Sterling sat at the desk, his briefcase open, legal pad already half filled with notes. Detective Sarah Morris stood near the window, arms crossed, her expression professional, but her eyes sharp with interest. Liam had been sent to his room with his tablet and strict instructions that he was safe now, that the adults would handle everything. "Before we go any further," Jonathan said carefully, "I need to know, do you have any evidence to support Liam's account?" Marcus's hand trembled slightly as he unlocked his desk drawer and pulled out a small black device. "I installed a nanny cam in the upstairs hallway 3 months ago." Detective Morris straightened. "You had surveillance of the incident?" "I think so. I haven't reviewed this footage yet. I only remember it existed after Liam told me what really happened." Marcus's voice was thick with self-recrimination. "I installed it because Victoria's behavior had been erratic. I was worried about Liam's safety, but I never thought. He couldn't finish the sentence. Let's see it, Detective Morris said. Marcus connected the device to his laptop, his fingers fumbling over the keyboard. The timestamp showed the date of the incident, 2:15 p.m. The upstairs hallway appeared on screen, elegant, sunlit, empty. Then Victoria entered the frame, her body language already aggressive. Liam followed, clearly trying to move past her. The audio was muffled but audible. "You ungrateful little," Victoria's voice cut through. "After everything I've sacrificed for you, I just want to go to my room. You want that maid more than your own mother? That's what you're saying." On screen, Victoria grabbed Liam's arm violently. The boy cried out in pain. She shook him, her face contorted with rage that looked nothing like the composed woman who'd tearfully told police her version of events. "Sofia takes better care of me than you do." Liam's voice, high and frightened. The slap came so fast Marcus almost missed it. Then Victoria's hands on Liam's shoulders, and the push. Deliberate, vicious. The boy's small body tumbled backward, arms flailing for the railing, missing, falling down the grand staircase out of frame. The sound of his impact made all three adults flinch. Victoria stood at the top of the stairs, breathing hard. For 10 long seconds, she didn't move, didn't rush to help. Instead, she turned to the hallway mirror, smoothed her hair, wiped her face, arranged her features into an expression of horror. Then she descended the stairs with measured steps, positioning herself, and began to scream. "Oh my God! Liam, what happened? Someone help." The video continued, Sofia rushing up from the kitchen, dropping to Liam's side. Victoria's immediate accusation. "She pushed him. I saw her." Detective Morris exhaled slowly. "Stop the video." The room fell silent. "This is attempted murder," Jonathan said, his voice hard. "And child abuse. First degree. The premeditation is right there." She arranged herself, fabricated the story, framed an innocent woman. Detective Morris was already on her phone. "I'm calling for a warrant. Victoria Ashford will be in custody within the hour." Marcus sat back, his hands covering his face. Relief and rage warred within him. "Sofia. We need to tell Sofia immediately. She's been in hell for a week because of this. I'll personally deliver the news and arrange for all charges to be dropped," Detective Morris said. "Mr. Ashford, I need a copy of this footage for evidence. Take the whole device. Take whatever you need." Marcus looked up, his eyes burning. "I want my wife prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. She nearly killed my son and destroyed an innocent woman's life. I want justice." Jonathan nodded grimly. "You'll get it." Victoria's arrest. The next morning, Beverly Hills awoke to scandal. Victoria stood in the mansion's kitchen in her silk robe, sipping coffee and scrolling through her phone when the doorbell rang. She ignored it. The staff would answer. But then she heard Marcus's voice and heavy footsteps. "Mrs. Ashford?" A woman's voice, official and cold. Victoria turned to find Detective Morris flanked by 2 uniformed officers. Marcus stood behind them, his face a mask of controlled fury. "What's going on?" Victoria's voice was sharp, defensive. "Marcus, what is this?" "Victoria Ashford," Detective Morris began, "you're under arrest for child abuse in the first-degree assault, filing a false police report, and conspiracy to commit fraud." The color drained from Victoria's face. "You can't be serious." "Marcus, tell them this is insane." "Turn around and place your hands behind your back," one of the officers said. "I haven't done anything." Victoria's voice rose to a shriek. "This is a conspiracy. That maid, that woman poisoned all of you against me. Marcus, you can't believe." "I have the video, Victoria." Marcus's voice was quiet, deadly. "The nanny cam. It recorded everything. We know what you did to Liam. We know you lied. It's over." Victoria's face twisted, shock, then terror, then rage. As the handcuffs clicked around her wrists, she lunged toward Marcus. "You'll regret this. You're destroying this family. All of you, conspiring against me." Neighbors had gathered on the street, phones raised, recording. The woman who'd hosted charity luncheons and smiled for society pages was now being perp-walked through her own mansion in a bathrobe and handcuffs. "You think you've won?" Victoria spat over her shoulder as they led her to the patrol car. "Wait until my lawyers destroy you." But Marcus didn't respond. He simply turned and walked back into the house, where Liam stood at the top of the stairs, watching. As the police car pulled away, siren silent but lights flashing, Liam descended slowly and stood beside his father. "Is it really over?" he asked quietly. Marcus put his arm around his son. "The worst part is, now we make things right. Can we call Sofia? Can we tell her?" Marcus's throat tightened. "Detective Morris is on her way to her apartment right now. But yes, we'll call her. We'll bring her home." Liam leaned into his father's side. For the first time in a week, something like peace settled over the broken mansion. The truth, finally free, had begun its work. The courtroom scene. The Los Angeles County Courthouse smelled of floor polish and desperation. Sofia sat in the cramped hallway outside courtroom 4B, her borrowed navy dress too tight at the shoulders, her hair pulled back in a severe bun. Mr. Harrison, her overworked public defender, sat beside her reviewing notes, his expression grim. "They're going to push hard," he muttered. "The victim's mother is wealthy, connected. Our best bet is still a plea deal." "No." Sofia's voice was steady despite her trembling hands. "I didn't hurt that boy. I won't say I did." Inside, the courtroom filled with spectators, journalists, and curious onlookers drawn by the scandal. Sofia walked through the gallery with her chin high, her dignity intact despite everything they'd taken from her. She'd lost her job, her reputation, nearly her sanity, but not her truth. Judge Patricia Hernandez, a stern woman in her 60s, took the bench. The preliminary hearing began with the prosecutor, a sharp-dressed man named Walsh, laying out the state's case against Sofia Martinez. "Your Honor, the evidence is clear." Ms. Martinez, in a moment of rage and jealousy, pushed 7-year-old Liam Ashford down a flight of stairs, resulting in a fractured arm and severe trauma. "We have witness testimony from the boy's mother, physical evidence." The courtroom doors burst open with a bang that echoed like thunder. Marcus Ashford strode through, flanked by Jonathan Sterling in an expensive suit and a small boy with his arms still in a cast. Every head turned. Whispers rippled through the gallery. "Your Honor," Jonathan called out, his voice commanding. "I apologize for the interruption, but we have urgent new evidence that completely exonerates Ms. Martinez and reveals the true perpetrator of this crime." Judge Hernandez's eyebrows shot up. "Mr. Sterling, this is highly irregular." "I understand, Your Honor, but justice demands you see this evidence immediately." Jonathan approached the bench with a laptop and USB drive. "We have video footage from a nanny cam that was installed in the Ashford home. It shows everything that happened that day. Ms. Martinez is innocent. She's been framed." The courtroom erupted. Walsh shot to his feet. "Objection. This is a deliberate. I'll allow it," Judge Hernandez said, her sharp eyes fixed on the laptop Sterling was setting up. "Let's see this evidence." The lights dimmed. The courtroom screen flickered to life with the timestamp from the nanny cam. Sofia's breath caught in her throat as she watched the hallway appear, watched Victoria grab Liam's arm, watched the rage contort her face. The push, the fall, the calculated performance that followed. Gasps filled the courtroom. Someone in the back said, "Oh my God." Sofia's hands flew to her mouth. Tears streamed down her face, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming relief of vindication. The truth, captured in cold digital clarity, spoke louder than any lie Victoria had told. When the video ended, silence fell like snow. "Your Honor," Jonathan said quietly, "we also have Liam Ashford here, ready to testify to what really happened that day." His mother, Victoria Ashford, pushed him down those stairs and then threatened him into silence. Judge Hernandez looked at the small boy standing beside Marcus. "Young man, are you willing to tell us what happened?" Liam nodded, his face pale but determined. A court officer helped him into the witness box, adjusting the microphone down to his height. "Liam," Judge Hernandez said gently, "do you understand you need to tell the truth?" "Yes, ma'am." "Can you tell us what happened on the day you fell down the stairs?" The boy's voice was small but clear. "My mom was angry because I said Sofia takes better care of me than she does. She grabbed my arm really hard and pushed me. I tried to hold on to the railing, but I couldn't. Sofia didn't hurt me. She tried to help me. My mom hurt me. The courtroom was utterly silent except for the sound of Sofia's quiet sobs. Walsh stood, his face pale. Your Honor, in light of this new evidence, the state moves to dismiss all charges against Ms. Martinez immediately. So ordered. Judge Hernandez's voice rang with finality. Ms. Martinez, all charges against you are dismissed with prejudice. You're free to go. She turned to Walsh. I want an arrest warrant issued for Victoria Ashford immediately. Child abuse, assault, filing a false report, and obstruction of justice. It's already been done, Your Honor, Detective Morris said from the back of the courtroom. Mrs. Ashford is in custody awaiting arraignment. As if on cue, the side door opened. Victoria Ashford was led in wearing an orange jumpsuit, her hair stringy, makeup smeared, eyes wild. When she saw the courtroom, saw Marcus and Liam, saw Sofia, she screamed. They're all lying. This is a conspiracy. She manipulated my son. She poisoned him against me. You can't believe. Take her back to holding, Judge Hernandez ordered. As the officers led Victoria away, her screams echoed down the hallway. I'm his mother. Me. Not some hired help. You'll all regret this. Then chaos. Sofia stumbled from her seat, and Liam broke away from Marcus, running to her. They collided in the aisle, both crying, Sofia dropping to her knees to embrace him properly. I'm so sorry, Liam sobbed in her shoulder. I wanted to tell them. I was so scared. Show, baby. It's okay. You were so brave. So brave. Marcus approached them slowly, his eyes red. When Sofia looked up at him, he knelt beside them both. Sofia, I'm so sorry. For everything. For not believing you. For not protecting my son. For letting this happen. I will spend the rest of my life making this right. Sofia reached out and squeezed his hand, unable to speak through her tears. The courthouse steps were mobbed with reporters. Marcus insisted on holding a press conference immediately with Sofia and Liam by his side. Camera flashes exploded like stars as Marcus stepped to the microphone cluster. My name is Marcus Ashford. Today, justice was served, though it came far too late for the woman standing beside me. Sofia Martinez was falsely accused by my wife of a crime she not only didn't commit, but was the opposite of her nature. Sofia has been Liam's primary caregiver for 4 years. She loves my son, and my wife, in a moment of drug-fueled rage, nearly killed him and then framed Sofia to cover her crime. The questions came rapid fire, but Marcus raised his hand. Sofia has a statement. Sofia stepped forward, her voice shaking but clear. I want to say that I forgave them before I even knew the truth. Not for them. For me and for Liam. Hate is a poison we drink hoping someone else dies from it. Liam needed me to be whole, to be strong. So I forgave them, and I fought for the truth. Now the truth has set us all free. A reporter called out, "What will you do now, Ms. Martinez? Will you return to work for Mr. Ashford?" Sofia looked at Marcus, who nodded. I've asked Sofia to return, not as an employee but as family, as Liam's legal guardian and co-parent. If she'll have us. Sofia's eyes filled with tears again. I need to think. Please, Sofia. Liam's small voice cut through. He tugged her hand, looking up with those blue eyes that had always seen her as more than just the help. I need you. Please come home. Sofia knelt down, cupping his face. You're my home, sweetheart. You always have been. Is that a yes? She nodded, unable to speak. 3 months later, the Ashford mansion had transformed. The walls that once whispered secrets now echoed with laughter. Sofia stood in the kitchen, not as a maid, but as a guardian, making breakfast while 9-year-old Isabella, her daughter, helped crack eggs into a bowl. Mom, Liam says we can plant tomatoes in the garden today, Isabella said in accented English, still getting used to her new life in America. See, Mija. But homework first, remember? Liam appeared in the doorway, his cast finally removed, his arms still weak, but healing. Buenos dias, Sofia. Buenos dias, Isabella. Isabella giggled at his pronunciation. Better. You're getting better. Marcus entered, dressed for work, but lingering over coffee, something he'd never done before. He watched Sofia with quiet gratitude, watched his son smile, really smile for the first time in years. The legal arrangements had been formalized. Sofia was now Liam's legal guardian, with full decision-making authority. Marcus had insisted, knowing his son needed her more than he needed him. But Marcus was learning to be present, to listen, to be the father Liam deserved. Victoria's trial had been swift. 8 years in prison for child abuse and related charges. Sofia had attended the sentencing, sitting in the gallery. When given a chance to make a victim impact statement, she declined. But afterward, she told Marcus, "Holding hate only poisons yourself." I pity her. She had everything and threw it away because she couldn't see what mattered. Now, 3 months into their new arrangement, the house felt alive. That evening, after dinner and homework and Isabella's video call with her grandmother in Mexico, Sofia tucked Liam into bed. She sat on the edge of his Spider-Man sheets, smoothing his hair back. "Sofia?" His voice was quiet, hesitant. "Yes, sweetheart. Can I ask you something?" "Always." He fidgeted with the blanket. "Isabella calls you Mom. And I was wondering, can I call you Mom, Sofia?" Sofia's breath caught. Tears welled in her eyes as she leaned down and kissed his forehead. "Oh, baby. Yes. Yes, of course you can. Really, really. I would be honored." Liam's arms wrapped around her neck. "I love you, Mom Sofia. I love you too, mi hijo. Forever." From the doorway, Marcus watched them, his throat tight with emotion. His phone buzzed, a work call he would have answered 6 months ago. Now he silenced it and stayed, watching the woman who'd saved his son tuck him in with the kind of love money could never buy. Later, after both children were asleep, Marcus found Sofia on the back terrace, looking at the garden where she'd planted sunflowers. They were blooming now, bright and impossible against the Los Angeles sky. "Thank you," Marcus said quietly, "for coming back, for forgiving us." Sofia smiled. You gave me a son. Both of you did. I should be thanking you. He's lucky to have you." "No," Sofia said softly. "I'm the lucky one. They tried to break me. But instead, they gave me a family." Inside, the mansion that had once been a monument to wealth and secrets now hummed with something real. The sound of children laughing, the smell of home-cooked meals, the warmth of genuine love. The sunflowers swayed in the evening breeze, golden and alive. Where there had been lies, now stood truth. Where there had been brokenness, now healing. Love didn't require blood. It required presence, sacrifice, and fierce protection. Sofia Martinez had journeyed from accused to mother, from prisoner to guardian, from broken to whole. Justice had been served. Family had been restored. And in the glow of the setting sun, the mansion's walls finally echoed with the sound they'd been missing all along. Genuine laughter. Real joy. Home. Thank you for watching until the end. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. Let us know in the comments what you thought about Sofia's journey. Justice may be delayed, but truth always finds a way. Remember, love doesn't require blood. It requires presence. And sometimes, the family we choose is the one that saves us.